Welcome back to another episode of the All-NBA Podcast with JAHRONMON and Raiisle. Man, this podcast episode is lit. We have a great episode for you guys. Obviously, we're going to talk about Game 6 of the NBA Finals. A lot of bite on that bone. There's a lot to talk about. We talk about Kawhi, the Klay injury, how KD affected it, and Steph Curry's legacy. I mean, that last shot, very eerily similar to another shot made in Oracle in a must-win game, I have to say. But the beginning of this podcast is all about Oracle. It's obviously the last game ever played at Oracle Arena, and Ray and I share some of our favorite Oracle memories, and we also call some people who are born and raised in the Bay, and they share their favorite moments as well. I think it was just fantastic stuff. Very, very heartfelt farewell to Oracle, an arena that will be missed. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. I know I had a ton of fun recording this episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Peace.
There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada. We, the North, are now we, the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
Your 2019 Bill Russell Finals MVP is Kawhi Leonard.
I'm a guy that just, try to not get too high or too low. And it worked out. It worked out.
And new NBA champion, the Toronto Raptors. Ray, it's finally over. Maybe too soon. I know it's your squad, but I have to say that game was just. What is the roller coaster in what's the most popular roller coaster over there in Discovery Kingdom? The classic one.
I don't know, sir, because I'm not allowed to ride roller coasters no more because my little kids won't allow us.
Oh, what is the one called? It's green at Medusa?
It used to be the Medusa.
That's the most popular one. This game, it was a roller coaster ride. It was crazy.
It was a great game.
And I think it's a very interesting chapter in the Warriors dynasty, and we'll definitely get into that. We'll break the game down, don't worry, guys, and we'll give the Raptors their due as well. But I want to start this podcast off with Oracle. Last game ever at Oracle, right? And you'll see in a little bit, we actually call some of our buddies who are born and raised in the Bay, and we just talk about the importance of Oracle and share their favorite memories of Oracle. But before we get there, I wanna do our favorite memories. Cool. So I want to start with you, man. You're the local, born and raised here. You've lived all across the Bay, pretty much.
Like a little bit like Mac Dre, born in Oakland, raised in Vallejo.
There you go, Mac Dre. Oh, Draymond wore a Mac Dre shirt,
that.
And he said, and I saw Bleacher Report say, Draymond wears Oakland legend Mac Dre shirt, and I was like, is he an Oakland legend?
He was born in Oakland.
He's a Vallejo legend.
Vallejo legend, but a Bay Area legend.
He's a Bay Area. You're right,
yeah.
Bay Area legend. But I was like, just Oakland? They should have said Bay. Anyways,
you know how they do it.
Bleacher Report, hire me. So yeah, you've lived in the Bay. When you think of Oracle, what memory stands out to you? You don't have to have been there at this moment. You could have just watched it. You could have been there. But when you think of Oracle, man, what's the one thing that stands out to you?
I actually had a couple.
All right.
I just want to shout out my brother and sisters.
Nice.
Because we actually, for Father's Day, bought my dad a ticket to the finals.
That's right.
And he was there. And winner loss, I know he had a great time for sure. So he was out there with my brother-in-law. So shout out to my family for, gifting my dad something that
that's
he
awesome.
He definitely deserved. He grew up in Oakland, so it was a good feeling. But I don't know, the good moments for me, I had this one memory that sticks out a lot when the Warriors, we weren't really that good. We would get tickets, and I was supposed to go with, it was supposed to be me, my dad, my uncle, and then my cousin Rel was supposed to go. So we go over to my cousin's house, right? My cousin started playing games, getting ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then my uncle comes in his room and was like, all right, boy, give it here. And I was like, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden, my cousin goes under his bed and grabs his report card and give it to my uncle.
Oh.
And then
Plot twist.
Basically, my auntie, they saw his grades and like said, "Nah, you ain't going to the game. You grounded." So I guess one of my dad's friends was able to go. So basically, we go to the game and we just ride into the game, and I hear my dad and my uncle talking to each other. And my dad was like, "What happened?" He was like, "How'd you know about his report card?" And he was like, "Because I saw the report card in the mailbox when I got home, and I left it in there." And then and I noticed that it wasn't in the mail when I asked him to get the mail. So my uncle set my cousin up. So my cousin had to stay behind while we actually had a really great time at the game. And at that game, one of my dad's close friends knew one of the security guards. So at the end of the game, I was able to go onto the court and I got to put up some shots on the floor at the end of the game.
Nice.
Yeah. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I basically went 0 for 1.
Got
a ball, shot it, bricked, hit rim, and all of a sudden this little kid, he's coming here, he's like, "You're not supposed to be on here." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And I tried to get another ball and then security chased me off. But that was definitely a great moment. My dad likes to bring that up every now and then, but
That's awesome, man. Do you remember who was playing?
I do not remember who was playing.
How old were you about?
This was probably high school, so probably either 14 or 15.
Okay.
I think probably like 14, but it was just dope.
That's a dream of mine to get on an NBA floor and just try to see if I can make a shot. Because, obviously the court's bigger, right?
Yeah, that's what first thing I thought. I was like, whoa.
It's huge,
really
but
far.
also, the seats, right? You don't ever play in like me and you, when we play ball, we don't play in a place with 20,000 seats. It's just, it's different.
It was dope.
Yeah, and that's a dream of mine. That's awesome.
Oh, man, I got to live your dream, man.
Yeah, you live in my dream. You said your dad, you got a ticket for him for Father's Day. He was there tonight.
Yep.
I have two moments as well as my favorite Oracle memories. The first one actually is similar. It involves my dad. My dad left me and my mom when I was young. I don't even remember what age. I have 6 or 7, something like that. And, I grew up basically without my dad. We lost track of him when I was like 9. And from 9 to 2012, however old I was in 2012, I hadn't talked to him. And, that was a big thing. And I remember one of my earliest memories that I have in my life was watching a playoff game of the Lakers with my dad. And I would ask him, like, when Leica watches with me, like, what's a foul? What's a travel? Just asking him a ton of questions like a kid would do, right? What do you mean they're up 2-1? Like, how many games do they play? Like, just total first experience with basketball, NBA basketball. So throughout my life, I was a Laker fan. And I think it was because that was like one of the few things that I remember of my dad, right? So basketball was just one of those things I held on to because it was like all I knew of him. And so when he got back in touch with me via Facebook, initially I thought it was a joke, actually. I was like, who created a fake account, It was a real account, and he, called me and, the whole thing, we went through it, and he said, "I want to meet you." And I said, "Let's meet in California." It was easier for him to get to California. He was in Utah at the time. And oddly enough, I think the first game I ever watched was Lakers Jazz.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Funny how life works.
Yep,
Anyways, we meet, and I hadn't seen my dad since I was like 6 or 7. And that was a big, big moment in my life. And I was making good money. Straight out of high school. And I remember taking this trip just to see my dad. The trip was to see my dad. My grandparents were there. I had my grandma hold the video recorder. I don't know. I wanted to record the moment. And my grandma knows nothing about technology. It was a big moment for me. And it's just one of those moments I'll never forget. I'll take it to the grave with me. And I remember being like, I want to go to a Warrior game with you. And the Lakers are in town. I was like, how perfect is this? The one thing I remember of you, the Lakers, they're in town. Let's go see a game. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. And I remember being like, how much you want to spend on the tickets? It's odd. I hadn't seen him in forever. Like, I didn't want to like drop a ton of money on him, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, he threw out a number. He's like 150, and the tickets were not going for 150. This was in 2012, so this was the Dwight Howard, Kobe year before the Warriors really got back on track.
The game was in L.A.?
No, the game was in Oakland.
Okay.
This was the first Steve Nash game. He was injured and he came back. It was like in December 14th or something like that. And I remember I said, Dad, don't worry about the ticket. And I bought these tickets. I think they were like $500 each. And I just bought them. And I was like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Seeing it with my dad. And there were incredible seats. I want to say like 10th row, on not behind the rim, like on the sideline. Those are like the prime seats.
Yeah.
And we watched this game. I went in there with my Kobe shirt on, these brand new Kobe shoes that dropped that day. I got them at Nike Town SF. Walked in there, people heckling me, and Kobe came out, clutch Mamba face, overtime, and just sealed the game for the Lakers. And all those Warrior fans that were heckling me in our section just walked away quickly.
Was that when Steph got off too?
Yeah, Steph was going off.
Steph got off.
And that's just a moment that I'll just remember forever. Like, it just was like a big moment in my life. But I think my favorite Oracle memory is the first one I ever had. My first basketball game I ever went to. I grew up in Hawaii. We didn't have basketball games.
Yeah.
Not even college ones. I didn't grow up in Oahu. Maui, no college basketball. My first ever real competition basketball game was at Oracle. It was the Warriors versus the Clippers. This Baron Davis was on the team, but he was injured. He didn't play, but I bought a Baron Davis shirt. Still have it somewhere.
That's dope.
And, Troy Murphy, Andres Beatrice, and these guys around us were just cheering their butts off. And I remember just thinking, like, the Warriors suck, and these guys are into it. And it just showed me that Oracle, really rides with their team. And I remember eating the garlic fries for the first time. Like,
oh, stinky breath.
Yeah, like, whoa, like, these are crazy, So I'd say, and I went with my mom. My mom took me, and I'd say those are my two memories at Oracle. And I've been to the finals at Oracle. I've seen great games. I've seen Steph games. I've seen a lot at Oracle. And don't worry, Brian, I loved it when we went to the watch party too. But those two moments, they're things that I'll never forget in my life. Not just because it's Oracle, but just because my mom took me to my first ever NBA game. Seeing it with my dad after we had lost touch. It could have happened anywhere, but I'm glad it happened at Oracle because, like you'll hear when we talk to Mike and Brian, it's a special place in the Bay. And I'll miss it for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But there's no denying that the Warriors deserve an upgrade of a stadium. If you're just talking about the stadium, right?
Definitely deserve an upgrade of the stadium, but like you kind of mentioned, even when we were super trash, the fans, like we always rocked with the Warriors. Yes. It was just, really missed the $20 tickets.
Don't we all?
I mean, it's like, dang, it's kind of like if you see gas for like $1.09 now, you're like, oh, what? Yeah. Like tickets used to be like for real, like to get some good seats for like $20.
I will say this, ever since I moved to the Bay Area, Warriors, the first year I moved here, half a year, didn't make the finals. The following years, haven't missed the finals. I don't want to take credit for this, but I just want to point that out.
You said the first year?
The first year I moved, they didn't make the finals. But every year after that, they made the finals.
So I think that was what we were talking about when we lost to the Clippers.
Yeah.
So not to keep it a downer or anything but it's funny you mentioned it because I was actually just thinking about it. The last time, the Warriors didn't make the finals, when we lost to the Clippers, I think was it Game 7? Game 7, right?
Yes. Jordan Crawford.
We had that doubleheader for the rec league.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, because then we were supposed to I think we went to Brian's house after or his sister's house to watch it, but that was actually the last game. Basically, my dad's best friend, my godfather, passed away that night.
Oh, yeah. Wow!
And then that
was the last game.
That was the last game. He passed away. He was at my dad's, and I was supposed to, probably I was supposed to go over there to watch the game too. But we had our game and stuff like that, so a little bittersweet. But I kind of like to think of it like my godfather kind of had a hand in the Warriors, a miraculous run. So I kind of feel like that happened, and then he was up there like, hey, can we my team's been trash for like ever. Can we please get to the finals? And I kind of feel like, when we win, it reminds me of, I wish he was here to kind of witness it and stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny how, for some people they think it's just sports, but for the real sports fans, it kind of transcends just a competition, just an entertainment product. I mean, for both you and I, you just heard our stories. These moments, these places, these players, these teams, this game, it's just a catalyst for memories, and watching this game tonight where unfortunately they lost, it was just kind of, your whole life just, for me, just kind of played back. Like, I just remember all my Warrior memories. I remember the We Believe season. I couldn't believe they beat the Mavericks. It was, the Maui News never had sports on the front page. Never. I mean, sports wasn't a big thing in Maui. And when the Warriors beat the Mavericks, the Maui News front page, We Believe. And I cut that out and I stapled it to my backpack and I walked around my school all day because I was like, my first ever NBA game was, I was there. I was at the beginning of the We Believe, So it's just, it kind of all plays through your head. But they're moving to the Chase Center across the bridge to San Francisco, and they need an upgrade. I mean, Oracle, I love it, but the corridors are small. The parking lot is just, it's like, that's the oldest building in the NBA. Oracle.
Is. Yep.
It's been around forever, and the traffic is bad.
It's about to get worse, though.
Why? Why is that?
Out in the city?
Oh, in the city. No,
traffic's going to be
the
crazy.
traffic's bad. But here, let me sell you on this. Staples is in downtown LA, and the traffic isn't as bad as after a game, because I've been to a Laker game. The traffic after a Laker game isn't as bad as traffic after a Warrior game, because the Lakers, you could go any direction, but at Oracle, there's only two exits.
Yeah. Yep.
There's only two exits, and one of them's like half an exit, the Hagenberger one. It's just crammed, single file, literally single file exit.
No, it is. That's why you don't park. That's why you don't park to be trapped, man. You got to park at the BART station.
And then also at Staples, most people don't leave that area after the game. There's other stuff to do. There's restaurants, there's bars.
That's right, you told me that.
There's bowling lanes. So not everyone's leaving at the same time, but at Oracle,
you gotta go.
You gotta get out of there.
If you don't want no one busting your windows, you gotta go, bro.
There's nothing to do, and that's what I'm excited about for the Chase Center is what's gonna be around there. Because I've been to the Staples for a game, but I've also been when there's a game, but haven't gone in Staples because there's so much other stuff to do around there, and it's just fun to be there. It's kind of like the Giants Stadium. If there's a game going on there, there's other stuff to do there. You don't have to go into the stadium to have a great experience.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the Chase Center has that, and I think it will, because San Francisco is a developing city, and it's so much more different than I remember it when I first moved here. Even
no, it's made for big business for sure.
So I hope Chase Center can create memories for other people. It may not be the same for us, right? Because we're old enough to be like, no, we have these memories in Oracle. We have these huge life moments, ingrained in our bodies of Oracle. So we might not be able to develop new memories like that in Chase Center, but I hope Chase Center can replicate those memories that we have for the next generation and the next generation. And hopefully they can recreate the specialness that Oracle had, because it really was special. And I know there's a lot of stadiums out there, but I think Oracle, there really was something unique and special about it. So, I just wanted to get this on record, on tape, a little farewell to Oracle. And I just want to say thank you. As a Laker fan, it's odd for me to say this, but big moments in my life happened at Oracle. It'll be missed, but like I said, I'm ready for the upgrade.
I know you were talking a mess about the stadium, but that's the only stadium I've basically known. Well, yeah, I've been to your other favorite team, the Kings Stadium, and their new stadium,
so nice,
is really crazy nice. It is crazy nice, like
so nice.
So that I expect the Chase Center to be up there for sure.
From the outside, it looks like a toilet bowl, I have to say.
That's because we
Splash Bros,
Flush Bros. But yeah, I mean, Oracle, and I think I think like what you're saying, I kind of hope it could replicate some memories for like you said, the next generation for sure too. Because, but then I think when you're a top tier team. Yeah. And then and then when it comes to the next generation, and all you kind of know is like, oh, the Warriors, we've been like dope. I'm speaking for like my daughters, like, we won a championship. Like, yeah, we're always in a championship. But then I think we got those great moments because we were there when, basically the team wasn't really good. Yep. So so you kind of like watched us from being nothing in the NBA to becoming something, and that's why. Yes, I do understand the whole bandwagons and where were all these fans at when the Warriors were trash. Stuff comes from the outside people, but you still have to realize that there was still people that lives in those cities and from the whole Bay Area that was still part of the the Warriors. So we're not bandwagons, just that the wagon got a little bit bigger.
Couldn't have explained it better myself. Yeah. So shout out to Oracle 47 seasons at Oracle. Now let's give a phone call to some of our buddies, also Bay Area natives, and let's get their favorite memory of Oracle.
Jello.
What's up, Brian?
Hi, am I on the All NBA pod?
Yes, you are,
you
sir.
Are, man. You are.
So you just texted us, like right when they lost, you texted us. You said, yeah, this doesn't feel like a loss. Do you guys feel the same way? Explain yourself, sir.
Doesn't feel like a loss. I feel like they really gave it their all.
They did, man.
And they lost to a legitimately better team. It didn't feel like the Cleveland Cavs lost, where like they feel like they got robbed.
Hey, you said the same thing as your nephew.
Well, I also feel like the Cavs loss felt like a robbery because you guys were up 3-1, and this time you were down 3-1, and the injuries, and Toronto's already really good team, and they were healthy.
Yeah.
Did you think when Klay went down that he was done? Or did you think, oh, he'll pop up and he'll keep playing? Or did you think?
No, I thought he'll pop up, especially when he came out the tunnel. I was like, oh, he's coming back.
Yeah, he looked good, and then he looked good. They showed.
Holy shoot, our kids are out here.
He looked good, and then the next clip of them or him was like on crutches, and then it looked bad all of a sudden. It was like,
I know. I was like, oh man.
Oh man.
But they were still able to keep it close even through all that.
You're right.
I think it was the adrenaline rush.
And they're playing defense like they did on Jaron and all our league games.
Ray said the same thing.
See? Because it's the fact. You can't.
Yeah.
But I said the only difference is Jay might be better because Jay actually still scored.
So what happened?
Yeah.
So what happened was, you guys left the team. I stayed, and we won a championship. What are you saying? Everyone's going to leave us.
You're the new Kyle Lowry.
What I really wanted to call Brian for is that was the last game at Oracle. Yeah. And I want to get your favorite memory of Oracle. You don't even have to have been there. Maybe it is the time you were actually there, but when you think of Oracle, what's the number one memory that stands out for you? Because it's kind of unreal. That was the last game at Oracle. And for people who don't know, Oracle's like, it's a landmark in the Bay for locals. I mean, it's like sacred ground. The locals love it. So you were born and raised in the Bay, and I just want to get someone who was born and raised in the Bay, their perspective of what their favorite moment of Oracle.
That was I think that was my dad's thing for me. That was our moment. Like he would take me to all the games because he'd get hooked up on the ticket.
Right.
Like we'd be like in the 6th row just watching the game.
Nice.
And I think my first game was when Billy Owen jumped out of bounds and called a timeout, and everyone thought like, "Oh, that's such a heads-up play."
Wow, deep cut. So going to the game with your pops, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was also
going to the watch party.
Oh, okay, thank you. That was
introducing Jaron to Jameson.
I was like just about to say it, man. I'm bummed you didn't say watch party.
Wait a minute. You told me you hated those moments. Oh, you frightened. You said Jay was acting now and was embarrassing you.
Because you never been to a watch party, and I was like, you gotta go. I went to the one before, and you're like, is it cool?
I was like, fine, okay, sure.
And it
was
awesome.
How he sounds.
Yeah.
That was
hella dope.
Yeah, man. Well, Shout out to Oracle. Shout out to Brian. Thanks for coming on
Brian,
the
my
pod.
dog.
Yeah, your dog.
That's my dog.
Man. Hey, thanks for having me, y'all, man.
So everyone knows, this is the dog that when we say, do you bet your dog's life on it?
This is the one I bet.
This is the guy right
This
here.
is the guy I bet his life on it. I bet
Not
his
my
life on
actual
it.
dog. This guy. He's my dog. Where my dog's
yeah,
at.
exactly, man.
All right, Brian. Have fun with the kids. Tell the kids and Jen I said hi. And
Yeah, and tell Jonathan I'm gonna need to holler at him. I'm gonna need to talk to him.
where's Jonathan at?
Hi.
Ew.
Jonathan,
Right.
give me a. We love you, God.
Yeah, we love you, God.
We love you, God.
That's right. Jesus Christ. We love you, God.
We God. We love you, God.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Go to bed.
That's a new job. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Let's go put some seats now, man. All right, Joe.
All right,
So-
see ya.
All right, peace. Hello?
Mike.
Dude.
Welcome to the All NBA podcast, my guy. You're on.
Oh,
You're on. You're on the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
oh nice.
You know,
All right.
Oh man, where's your? Oh man, turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. What's up with the reception?
Am I a winner?
here's no.
The lucky
So
winner?
you're the lucky winner. Yeah. You
All right, thank you.
you were texting me throughout the game. You know, you're nervous and
Yeah.
you're a big Warrior fan. And instead of talking about the game and because they obviously lost, your squad lost, I want to talk.
Yeah.
You're born and raised in the Bay. We just talked to Brian actually. And
Okay.
I was explaining to him, or I was telling him, I wasn't explaining. He doesn't need explaining, but that Oracle is it's like a landmark for the locals. It's
Definitely.
just like sacred ground in the Bay Area, and the Bay is so unique because it kind of encompasses so many different cities, and all of those cities kind of just come to Oracle and they root for the
Yeah.
Warriors, and it's just this uniqueness, And
Yeah, the
it's
base stretches out very far.
very far, and you got people like sometimes when they have like the games where the fans play on the court, like the half court shot or whatever games, they go,
Yeah.
"Hey, where are you from?" And they say crazy stuff like, "Oh, I'm from Vacaville." That's like an hour and a half away,
Yeah,
the base
yeah,
stretches out far, and Oracle's like
Yeah.
the meeting ground for all of these places. So, as someone
Right.
who was born and raised in the Bay, what is your favorite Oracle memory? Because this is the last game at Oracle. We're saying goodbye to Oracle. They're moving to the Chase Center, which is great. But when you think of Oracle, what's your favorite memory? You don't have to have been at this moment. It's just your
Yeah.
favorite Oracle moment. What do you think?
A cool moment. I don't know. I think. I mean, definitely the first championship.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably a common answer because we've watched the Warriors suffer for so long. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Facts.
Brian maybe brought this up. Like tickets to UC, buy a sandwich, upgrade to a foot long, get some tickets. It was like that.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
It was, and that's what, to see that happen. And it's like, I don't know what the odds are, but like, your city going to the champion, the amount of teams, but it's crazy. That first championship and to be kind of like a part of it as well, because, I started cutting Bogut's hair that season.
Yes.
That season, they won, or no, the season before, but you know what I mean? I was already a part, like I was kind of in there.
Right.
I was in there already.
Yeah.
And so,
For people who are like, wait, what did he say? Mike was he cut hair in the Bay, and Bogut was one of his clients, the Andrew Bogut,
Yeah, the
and
Australian.
he would always hook you up with tickets. He hooked you up this year, even right? Even when he came back,
he did. He would hook me up when, even when he was in Dallas,
right?
and they were coming to the Bay, he'd give me tickets, he gave me tickets when he was on the Lakers. So he's definitely taking care of me. And it's like, I'm pretty prideful for the fact that like, I was like responsible for the upkeep of his mullet, during that, 2014, 2015. Cause like, I love the mullet. Like if I didn't have my long hair, that's like, that would be my look.
Yeah. I'm glad this was your answer because I feel like so many people, because they ask this on TV, right? They go outside of Oracle and they ask the fans, what's your favorite Oracle memory? And it's all the same. It's oh, I've been here in the 80s, Run TMC, or it's the Andre Karolinko, We Believe. It's the same answers.
Right.
Everyone
right.
knows those answers. And I don't want to say the real fans because I don't want to diminish those people who give those answers, but
Yeah.
The people who truly rooted for the Warriors or root for the Warriors, the big moments are great, but it's the little ones that are personal to you that make it so much more special. I mean, of course, the Baron Davis dunk is great, right? But
Definitely.
cutting Bogut's hair, getting hooked up with tickets, even when he's not on the Warriors, he remembers you when he's on other squads. You know, how many people does Bogut meet in a day? A lot of people. So I mean, I'm glad that's your answer. And if you want Ray and I's answer, you're just gonna have to download the next episode of the All NBA podcast.
I will do that. But what if I win? I mean,
you want another? Oh, you got another orange beanie coming your way, brother.
I am on an orange hat kick, so if you see any orange hats, you know,
okay.
Even if it's like a beret, I'm into it.
Whoa,
all right, whatever. I can't even spell that, but all right.
We're gonna not raspberry beret. It's like a tangerine beret.
Yeah,
that's the next song coming out from you. The next single.
Yep.
All right, Mike. We appreciate you, man. And if you need any, consoling during this time of grief, just hit me up privately.
I mean, I was telling my roommates that it feels like I got broken up with. Like that's the kind of hollowness.
I've been there, man. I've been there.
It's like
08 Lakers against the Celtics. I've been there, man. Just puts you right in. It's
like
it's
you're
a weird
fully
mood.
aware of where they are, but then they're not there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's tough. But you know what? A lot of kids come up to me, like my friends' kids and my auntie's kids, and they say they're having a hard time with the loss of their team or whatever, and I just tell them, I go, they make you happy so much more than they let you down. I mean, if you think about it, it's not even just winning, right? You don't have to win. It's just moments like a dunk or a crossover or a play or something. They lift you up so much more than they let you down. And especially with the Warriors going to 5 straight finals. I mean, it's been an incredible run. And the crazy thing is it's not over yet, right? So you guys have something to look forward to until the Lakers dethrone you for real. I'm sorry. Where do you reside right now? Is that Los Angeles? We're gonna have to go to a game together out there in Staples, man. Have you been to Staples, right?
Sure. I have. Yeah, I was here for the Clippers Warriors series.
Yep, that's right. That was awesome. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the pod, and I'll catch you later, man.
Thanks, man. You guys take care.
All right, you too.
All right, bro.
All right, we're back. We just got done pouring one out for Oracle, and now we're going to talk about the game that brought the Larry O.B. in the wise words of Kawhi Leonard. You were saying that he might not know it's O'Brien. He just called it Larry O.B.
Larry O.B.
I said, no, that's what they call it on the streets, man. The Larry O.B. They brought it back to Toronto. The first ever NBA game was in Toronto. Basketball created by Dr. James Naismith, I think his name is, Canadian. So what a full circle moment. But let's break down this game, man. I think the thing that stood out to me most in this game was the Raptors are just a good scratch that. They're a great team, man, because yes, they have Kawhi, they have the superstar, right? But those role players, they came to play, specifically Kyle Lowry, a guy who has been vilified by that fan base and NBA fans. Choke artist, he ain't clutch, he's trash, all these things, right? And it was true. He was not good in the playoffs for a long, long time.
That's true.
I thought he had a good finals. Obviously, he missed that shot last game. Foul trouble throughout the finals, the entire playoffs. But I thought he had a good finals. However, this game, wow. Biggest game of his career on the road. And this dude had 21 points in the first half, 7 of 9. And I was just talking to Laika about this, my girlfriend. You know all these clutch stats that say, here's this player's field goal percentage in the last 3 minutes of a closeout game, all these crazy stats. But it's always the end of a game, right?
Yeah.
I was explaining to her, I said, isn't how you finish a game just as clutch as how you start a game? I mean, think about it, right? Obviously, the finish of the game is the most important part of the game, but in a big game where Toronto needed to get out to a good start on the road to kind of keep those guys in the the fans in check, right? To lower expectations and to keep the fans out of it. Last game at Oracle, right? That's a big, big moment to start the game. And he could have easily went cold, not played well at the beginning of the game. But no, he came out 21 points, 7 of 9 in the first half. That, to me, is just as clutch as going on a 10-0 run at the end of the game, in my opinion, because without that big start, this game could have got away from the Raptors. But it kept them in the game, and it obviously kept them in the game to where they eventually won the game.
It definitely did. I don't have.
I just blew you away. You're like,
it did. Oh my gosh, it definitely did. Everything you said, especially the trying to do it for KD, trying to do it for Oracle, trying to force a game 7,
Yes.
last game at Oracle, a must-win game, set the tone crazy. Like he set the tone like better than great.
it was perfect.
It was perfect.
It was
Like
perfect.
yeah, he was unstoppable, and it takes a veteran like him, someone who's
Yeah.
been through. He's probably replaying all those in his mind and saying, you know what, I'm gonna make my stamp on this game for sure.
Yep.
And he did. I mean, throughout the whole series, he actually did. Even when he wasn't hitting shots, he still was making defensive plays. Getting rebounds and everything like that. And big ups.
Yeah, longest tenured Raptor
He
on
been
this
there.
roster.
He been there.
And he came through for his team. I mean, that was just really, really impressive. Couldn't be more happier for a guy like that who, like I said, just got absolutely roasted by not just his own fans, but just people who watch basketball. And when you transcend your fan base is supposed to hate you to a certain extent, right? Like even you're like, you trash talk like Livingston and the guys, but when you transcend that, when other people who don't care about your team are like, yeah, you're not very good, it hurts. And he came back and he just had a great game. So shout out to North Philly, like Doris Burke said at the post game. I also thought this game was interesting. Kevon Looney started. I thought he was ruled out. Wasn't he ruled out for the series? I thought I heard that.
No, he wasn't. He was he was ruled out for that game, but then there was a chance he could come
maybe
back.
just a game. Okay.
He just had to just tough it out. That's what he did.
And he's tough, man.
Great game, yeah. I mean, he had a great playoff run.
Yeah, he made himself money, man. He made himself money. And I think the Warriors retain him. What do you think?
We want to retain him. Even Kerr mentioned that. Like,
Yeah.
I think prior to the playoffs starting, we definitely want to retain him. I mean, he's basically the type of 5 you need in today's NBA.
You know what, though? A team might throw a ridiculous amount of money at him, and the Warriors might not be able to
But he deserves
keep
it.
him back. He deserves it.
That's
I'm
what-
not
that's
saying
what
he
just-
doesn't deserve it.
yeah.
I'm just saying the Warriors might not be able to retain him like that.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Milwaukee. He's from Milwaukee. He's kind of an interesting fit with Giannis, right? He's like that long, he's not extremely athletic, but he's athletic enough to like switch. And he's from Milwaukee. Maybe they let Brook Lopez go and they give that money to Looney. I don't know what's going to happen with him in free agency. All I know is the Warriors should and want to retain him, and he earned it.
He earned it. He
didn't walk into anything. He earned everything. And I remember earlier this season being like, I'm out on Looney. It just didn't work out. He proved me wrong. I'm glad to say I'm wrong about that. He was fantastic, especially in that Rockets series for sure.
He definitely was. Big ups to Mr. Ugly Man.
The Raptors also kind of were like dropping the hammer in this game. They put a lot of Kawhi on Steph. They're just like, yeah, let's just stop this.
They put a whole bunch of people on.
They put a whole bunch, and that's the beauty. I mean, I remember watching a game in the regular season, Warriors-Raptors. Kawhi did not play in Oracle, and the Raptors still beat a fully healthy, minus DeMarcus. DeMarcus wasn't ready yet, but the Raptors beat a fully healthy Warriors team, and it's just kind of funny how it works out. They beat this Warriors team. You could argue that they were the better team. You could argue that they were the better team this season, and they should have won. I mean, obviously, you're going to pick the Warriors. They've been there, done that. They're a dynasty, and they have all this talent on paper. But in reality, in practice, this Raptors team presented a lot of problems for not just this Warriors team that we saw that was banged up and unhealthy and had players falling left and right, but even against a healthy Warriors team, there is a small sample size of the Raptors having a ton of success with KD, Klay, and Steph and everyone else on the court. So I think even if the Warriors were healthy, I think this would have been a hard-fought series. That's why when we did the predictions, I said it was going to go 6 or 7. You said 4 or 5. We had a disagreement there. Shout out Texas Roadhouse. I'll be looking forward to my meal. But the Raptors shouldn't. I don't think they're going to get the whole, the Warriors were hurt, that thing. Even though I think it's funny how when the Warriors are hurt, no one's going to give them the handicap, right?
Yeah, no one's going to give that to us.
I think it's funny, but I think the Raptors earned this Larry O.B., man. I need that as a job. That Larry O.B. over there.
I think, big ups to the Raptors. They did what they were supposed to do. Even if in boxing or fighting or whatever, when someone's down, you keep them down. You put your foot on the neck, and that's what they did. They didn't be like, oh, okay. I feel like they didn't take no games off. Each game they went full throttle. You have to take advantage of your opportunities, and unfortunately, this time, instead of the Warriors having some help with the injury bug, it bit us. And like I mentioned before in a couple of podcasts, it's part of the game. Don't want to make no excuses. But like you said, no one's going to give the they're not going to give the treatment. And it's not really expected from us because we know how, people feel about the Warriors. But, the Raptors earned it. They did what they had to do. Dang that Danny Green. See?
Yeah.
Dang that Danny Green.
Before we get to Klay injury, it was fun. It's so eerily similar to that 2016 loss where didn't Bogut get hurt and they were like trying to find a replacement and it was Festus, but it just wasn't working out. And Kerr was trying to throw a lot of different things out there and it just wasn't working. The Warriors were kind of banged up in that series.
We were.
This series, obviously a much more extreme version of that, but Kerr was trying a lot of different lineups. He was playing guys that honestly, arguably, didn't have any business being on an NBA Finals floor in a must-win situation. I have in my notes here, McKinney was getting worked.
He was.
On defense. I like him. I think he has potential. It's just not there yet. He's obviously got to be more consistent from shooting the three, but he's shown the confidence to at least try to shoot them, right? I love his athleticism. He's probably the most athletic player on the roster, and that's something the Warriors lack. I want to get into that at the end of the podcast. What could the Warriors have done better this season? I think it's athleticism. McKinney's their most athletic guy, and his offensive rebounding is great. His length is great, but the IQ isn't there, and I'm not sure the effort is there either because he was getting absolutely worked in the pick and roll.
He was
like a matador. Guys just going by him.
And I think not just the IQ, but probably the experience as well.
Right, yeah.
Because, I think that he was out there. I mean, you in these type of situations, you kind of just got to throw everything to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And it was either you got to put like McKinney, Repko, Bell, Cook. It's just, he was the one to give the person the breather.
They sorely missed a wing veteran guy in case of emergency, right? Like Wayne Ellington or just some guy to come off the bench, maybe not play a ton during the regular season, but when they need him, he could come in and contribute. They were relying guys on like McKinney, Damian Lee in the regular season.
Oh, yep.
It just wasn't working. Jerebko didn't work, and the Livingston thing really hurt them. He did not have a great playoffs. Didn't even have good playoffs. Didn't even have an average playoff.
But he had okay.
Tonight, it looked like he laid it all out there on the line. He might retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, you got to remember he's old.
But that hurt him. I don't think they foresaw him falling off that quickly. I think if the Warriors could do anything better this season, they didn't address the lack of athleticism.
I think the reason being, one, I mean, when you have the kind of cap that we have, and
yes,
and you already have basically 5 or 4 people who are very offensive driven and need the ball in a sense. So with that being said, when you already have 4 or 5 or 4 guys who can ball out, basically, you're going to fill the rest of the roster with guys who are athletic, who could probably want to just play defense, who can set screens, and keep your vets. So that bit us in the end because we didn't have enough shooters on the floor because we basically, at the start of the season, had all the shooters that we needed.
This just came up on the screen. 25 points, 10 assists in a win that clinched the title all time. Kyle Lowry's on the list of Steph Curry, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, and Larry Bird, and Walt Frazier. How about that? He's on that list. That's big time right there.
And he looks like he's 12 years
His
old.
full stat line was 26, 7, and 10. That's a good list to be on. So once again, shout out to Kyle Lowry. But let's get to the Klay injury, man. Game
was that
6
a triple
Klay looked like he was there.
He did his job.
He was still the leading scorer, this game.
He did his job. Once, yeah, he did his job, man. And like I said, that dang Danny Green.
And it wasn't a dirty play.
It definitely was not a dirty. It was not a dirty play. It was an unfortunate
hard play.
You have
Hard
to,
play.
yeah, and you make the play in the ball. I ain't gonna lie. When Steph threw that, when he threw that pass, I'd had a bad feeling, man.
Yeah. So Klay Thompson, 30 points, leading scorer, 32 minutes. Game 6 Klay is a real thing.
It is.
He's done it 3 times now,
and he still tried to come back out.
And unfortunately, he got hurt, and it was kind of a mixed reaction because the injury itself didn't look that bad. There were some people who thought it looked bad. There were some people who said it doesn't look like much. But what was concerning for me was his reaction. I thought the actual leg, it looked awkward, but I didn't think it looked that bad. But the fact that Klay reacted the way he did, he's a tough guy. We know this.
Yeah.
And the way he reacted to such little awkwardness in the knee told me that was not good. And something is wrong there. And, he almost was ineligible for the game because he went back to the locker room without shooting the free throws. And someone told him, like, yo, if you want to get back, shoot these free throws. He came back, shot them, and he looked okay. He was running right, but
adrenaline, most likely. And then I don't think the Warriors wanted to risk
like KD,
the whole KD thing.
Yes.
So I think
smart thing
on their point for sure. You don't want to, you don't want another episode like that to happen.
That whole sequence, it was just absolutely crazy, absurd. I have in my notes here like this Warriors situation with guys getting injured. It's like a video game level where you beat the whole game and the last level is just crazy stuff being thrown at you. Like, it's like you play the whole video game and the last level is all the video game craziness comes at you at once. Like all the things you went through in the video game comes at you all at once. Guys are just dropping left and right. The NBA is throwing all of this stuff at them and they just couldn't come out with the win tonight. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't for lack of competition. It wasn't for lack of errors. It wasn't for lack of bad luck, injuries, all of the above. The Warriors had it thrown at them the entire season. And honestly, this whole 5-year run, they've had stuff thrown at them left and right, but it was just too much for them. Like when you're playing a video game and they're like, hey, all of a sudden, low ammo. No ammo left. You have to beat them with this clip. And that was what the Klay injury felt like, where the video game's just, you feel like the video game's trying to cheat you. You're like, wait, what?
When it rains, it pours, brother. That's how I just felt like when it rains, it pours. But
and here's the thing. These guys, they literally gave it their all. And Steph had an interesting quote after last game, the KD game. He said, win or lose, I think we're done trying to prove people wrong. I mean, he didn't say this quote for quote, but he was basically saying like, what do you guys want us to do? We're doing everything. We have this heart. Anyone who's questioning our heart is that's stupid because we're laying our careers out on the line here. We're putting our bodies out there. We're done trying to prove people wrong. We're going to try to get this dub. But I think anyone who's doubting us, our competitiveness, our will, our drive, they're wrong. We proved them wrong. And the Klay thing kind of just came full circle for me. These guys put their bodies out there. And I'm wondering if people are finally going to give them credit. Because we saw it with KD, right? KD kind of became a victim after being a villain for so long, right? And then we got hurt the other night. It kind of was like everyone felt bad for him, right?
Yeah, it was. And then,
Will this happen with the Warriors? Will people give them the credit? You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, and It's it comes with the territory. I just look at it like for KD, he was in a lose-lose because if we would have lost and he didn't play, then people would have just been like, "Oh, he should have. He was being so selfish."
Did KD quit on the Warriors?
Exactly. So, but I think by him playing and by him unfortunately getting hurt, it kind of helped his narrative a little bit because people are still like, "Oh, that's what he gets," blah blah blah. But it kind of helped people kind of look at him like, man, he really does love the game. And I saw Nike. That dope quote they came up with, what it was like, put it all on the line.
Crazy is
putting it all
on the line. Yeah.
Look, it's just money to be made. I mean, big ups to KD for posting what he posted. Just letting everybody know, like, man, like, I did it because I wanted to play for my brothers and everything like that. So
and Clay's my favorite Warrior. I mean, Curry's the most beloved Warrior. But I think Klay is he's like the fan favorite, right? And you just love Klay like he's your best friend. Like Klay's like your best friend. You just love him. And I've obviously had personal experiences with Klay. He's awesome. I remember in China, I went to his hotel room and he was in there partying with his boys, right? And I was just there for business, right? I wasn't there to like hang out with Klay. I was there on other business with his shoe company. And he came up to me in his room and he goes, "What's up?" And I was just like, "Hey." And he's like, "You want a drink?" And I was like, "Sure." He goes, "Beer okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And as he's going to get me a beer, I'm thinking, holy crap. Klay Thompson had the manners to offer me a beer, make me feel comfortable in this hotel room in China. And what do I say to him? When he gives me beer, I'm like, do I say thanks, bro? I thought about saying thanks, champ, but I was like, that's too far, right? It's too far. So I just went with the bro. I was like, thanks, bro.
Oh, I thought you was like, yo, a bottle opener, bro?
That's the next thing. He was like, do you need a bottle opener? I was like, I'm good. And then I was like, I do need a bottle opener. So I asked someone else. But that's just what I'm saying. Klay is just you just love him, right? And I think NBA fans love him too.
Oh, they do.
And it was, when he went down, it felt like a death scene. Like, in the movies where, like, especially war movies where you're on a battlefield and there's a moment where the main character the sound kind of gets drowned out. And then it's like, like echoey sounds. And he's just seeing people like fall down.
It did seem like
that's what Curry looked like when Klay went down. That's what it reminded me of. It was like, wow, the Warriors are literally falling down.
It was just when it rains it pours. That's kind of, I mean,
definition of when it rains it pours.
Yeah, definitely. It was just like one of those just another obstacle, basically.
Also, when it rains it pours, underrated 50 Cent song. You ever hear When It Rains It Pours by 50 Cent?
Yes.
I love that song. Anyways, another note I have here, I think we just saw Sean Livingston's last dunk.
Yeah, you're screaming at him. I was like,
that's his last dunk. That's his last. No, but honestly, he might retire, and it just didn't look like he had a lot of lift all season. And when he had that breakaway, I was like, you gotta dunk it, or he was gonna get blocked. That felt. He dunked it, and I just thought, little side note, that might have been Sean Livingston's last dunk ever.
No, I thought Sean Livingston played well. I felt like he did what he was supposed to have done. Like he'll get like 6 points, 8 points.
Yeah, the numbers aren't going to be there, but
he did what I feel like everybody did what they were supposed to do.
I feel more comfortable. If I was Steve Kerr, I would feel more comfortable with a guy like him out there, even if he's not scoring, even if he's not shooting the ball well, than with Alfonso McKinney out there, because I'm just like,
or Quinn Cook,
well, actually, I thought the Quinn Cook thing was interesting because I think Steve Kerr expected Quinn Cook to be like Van Vliet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're both like,
and it just didn't happen, but there is potential there. Quinn Cook could easily have done what Van Vliet did, but Van Vliet got hot. Maybe Quinn Cook needed to have a kid.
You need to have a baby. I'm telling you need to have a baby. This is for you.
Have a baby by me. That's what Quinn Cook is doing tonight.
I bet if you ask Van Vliet, what happened, he'll tell you, I had a son, and I said his name every time I shot the ball. Because you need things like that to motivate you sometimes. And I just think like that encouraged him to want to be better and do better for his son. Not in nothing like drastic or anything like that, but I would think it would help.
And I think if the Warriors would have played like the Sixers or the Bucks in the finals, I don't think Quinn Cook gets a lot of burn because he just can't hang with that length. But since Nick Nurse and the Raptors put Van Vliet in, Quinn Cook, you could afford to put a guy like Quinn Cook out there because Van Vliet's there. And I think Steve Kerr was trying to find some of that, trying to match the Van Vliet production with Quinn Cook, because Quinn Cook does have the ability to do it. When Steph went down last year in the regular season, Quinn Cook started, and he played well. He put up numbers. I think he had a string of 20-point games. Yeah, he earned himself a check. But yeah, I think that was Sean Livingston's last note. But on that note, Fred VanVleet, at one point in the game, in the fourth quarter, he had 12 of 18 Toronto points in the fourth quarter.
Got fired.
And like I talked about earlier, where I just said Toronto's just had a great team, man. VanVleet showed up. Ibaka showed up. Marc Gasol played well throughout the series. Kyle Lowry, obviously. I mean, you need guys like this to win a championship, to come out and like Robert Horry, Trevor Ariza, just from my experiences on the Lakers, right? You know, I said like I was on the Lakers.
Yeah, you're pointing to yourself.
Yeah, like when I was on the Lakers, listen, guys, Robert Horry was crucial. But like Derek Fisher, you know, you just need guys to kind of come out of the blue. Meta World Peace in that Game 7 against Boston. You just need guys like this. The Warriors, unfortunately, did not have that guy. They never did this series. Maybe DeMarcus Cousins in Game 2. Maybe. But they just didn't have that guy.
No, they didn't.
The Stars played great, but
just ran out of help, bro. I mean,
but the Stars played great, and I feel like people are gonna blame Steph for this, like they always do.
They always do.
But he played great. Klay played great. KD even played great for the 13 minutes he played.
Oh,
Draymond played great.
Oh, he played awesome.
The Stars played great. It's just they didn't have backup.
Yeah, he didn't. I think the people are gonna try to clown on Steph for sure, but I would imagine people would understand when you have the whole game plan is to shut the only shooter on the floor down when you can send 3 bodies at him.
Right.
And unless he starts hot dogging it and just start throwing up shots, then people are going to bag on like, why are you throwing up shots? You got 2 other guys that are open. So with that being said, it's kind of, you have to watch the game. You kind of understand the game. Like there was very minimum opportunities for him to actually get a shot off.
Yeah.
Except for that last one. Couldn't ask for a really good shot.
Let's talk about the last one.
That was a really great play.
Steve Kerr drew up a great play. The pass was almost botched.
Yeah.
But that was a good play, and it was a Brad Stevens style play. We see Brad Stevens in Boston drop these plays all the time. Crazy pass over the entire court to the weak side. And Curry got a good look.
Got a good look.
Now, when that shot went up, walk me through your mindset. Did you think it was going in? Because I was sitting next to Leica, and let me tell you, she thought that was going in.
I kind of felt like it was too strong.
Too strong? It ended up being a little to the right. And
it looked like it hit the back of the rim.
Yeah. Ironically, funny how life works, same exact spot, almost the same exact shot as Kyrie.
Same
fadeaway.
Same area, but Kyrie was more of an ISO.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the shot.
Oh, the shot.
Not the play, the shot. Fade away, going right. Interesting. And I feel like Steph is gonna get it. Because Kyrie would have made that shot. I can just hear it now.
He's gonna get it, but like I'm pretty sure that they're all over that and everything like that. But I think I mean, all I wanted was for Steph Curry to get that shot attempt, and he finally got one. But I think him not being involved the whole quarter,
right,
could have been a little bit rusty. But
that's good defense.
You can't ask for a better shot for the person that you want to take.
And you heard me during that timeout. I was like, Steph not gonna get a shot.
Well, yeah,
they weren't gonna let him.
They weren't. But then that's good.
But that
coaching.
play,
good.
Yeah,
and that's why you called a timeout. But you can tell you saw Steve Kerr go up to Steph, and Draymond. They got what they wanted. It just didn't go down.
You think Steve was like, I would have made that?
He probably could have said that.
He probably did say that.
He probably did say that. Yeah. I mean, that's you want your starter to take that shot. So great play.
I think the Warriors, they did everything they could, right, with everything that was thrown at them. But the one thing that I think is inexcusable The lack of athleticism in role players, I can't really blame them for that because they had injuries, right? In a case of emergency, they just didn't have the guys, but the emergency came. You can't foresee an emergency, right? But the one thing that I think was inexcusable that cost them this game, the one thing you can say was the free throws. If they made their free throws, they probably would have won. And that stings because free throws are so easy. And I've always been on the side of like, yeah, but even if they made their free throws, Toronto would have played differently at some junctures of the game, and maybe it would have still been close. You can't just say, oh, look, the Warriors missed 9 free throws. They would have had 9 more points. Yeah, but the Raptors would have played differently, and they could have had 9 more points as well. You can't just add the missed free throws to the point score, but it definitely is like a little stain on the shirt where you're like, man, what could have been if we just made the free throws? And they missed some big ones late. A lot of them were early, but some of them were late.
Yeah, and I mean, you could do all that stuff, but there's, I mean, little here's and there's. But then you kind of see like when there's a missed call on the Warriors and then there's a missed call on the Raptors. I kind of feel like the missed calls and the bad calls went both ways in a sense. I feel like, but like you were yelling, it was an overall. That was a great game kind of to witness it and to kind of to end it. I'm glad it ended that way instead of a blowout. Yeah. Or instead of us getting blown out, I feel like we're quitting. I'm glad it went out kind of down to the wire.
Excellent game played by both teams. But let's talk about the Raptors, man. I want to talk about Kawhi. My buddy texted me and he just said, Kawhi's a machine. And I just replied one word, one name. I just said, Jordan.
Yeah.
I just said Jordan. Eddie Jordan, former coach of the Washington Wizards. I'm playing. Michael Jordan, the way Kawhi celebrated, where he put his arms in the air, when he grabbed that finals MVP trophy, just the way he carried himself after that victory, it reminded me of Michael Jordan. Now, I'm not saying he's better than Michael, he's as good as Michael. I'm just saying what we witnessed in this playoff run by him, just that was Jordan. That was the modern day Jordan. I truly believe if Jordan was in the NBA today, he would have a similar run to what I almost said Kyrie. I apologize. What Kawhi did. I think he's the reincarnation of Jordan, at least this playoffs.
I think he definitely was. Like, I think there was actually somebody said, I think like his old coach or something in college or high school, about Kawhi was saying like they'll be out to a team dinner and Kawhi would be watching highlights of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
And you can see it in his game. And what was very Jordan-esque of him was the mid-range, or if he's like 10 feet away, or when he missed, it was kind of like a shocker.
Yes.
I was shocked when he missed. I was like, oh man, we caught a good break.
Yes.
So that's how it felt when you used to watch Jordan, like when he would miss, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What? So yeah, man,
it's incredible.
Yeah, Mr. iRobot.
Because Jordan he's the greatest player to ever play the game, but Kawhi just reminds me so much. And obviously their games are a little bit different. I mean, I'm not comparing them pound for pound against each other. I'm just saying when the Raptors won this championship, all I could think about was Kawhi is reminding me of Jordan. And he had an incredible playoff run. He is one of only 3 guys to win in finals MVP on multiple teams. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it. Bucks, Lakers. LeBron did it. Cavs, Heat. Kawhi, Spurs, Raptors.
Yep.
Now, I want to run this back. We've talked about this before on the pod, but maybe our feelings have changed. Do you think this is going to make people trade more for star players, even if the star player doesn't have that team on their list? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, most definitely.
So you think they are?
Yeah, my mind has not changed in that. It just made it even more like a bigger deal now.
So I think it will make teams pull triggers more on getting a guy like that, even though they're not on the team, like an AD, right? I think Boston would still do it, even though he's like, I don't want to be in Boston. But I don't think it's going to increase the chances of them retaining them because, like I said last time, even if you trade for a guy, you gotta do something while you have him. And the Raptors did the best possible thing. They won the title. They won the title.
It was something we joked about the first or second episode.
Yeah, like Kawhi, they gambled on the Kawhi trade, right?
Yeah.
And the Raptors weren't on his list, right? We all thought LA, right? And they traded for him, and they won the title. How many teams are going to do that? How many teams are going to trade for a guy who doesn't want to go there in the first place, but then win a title? That's not going to happen.
And all the stars would have to line up too. Like Kawhi actually had something to prove this season.
Yes.
They like he had to prove to people that I can still play at a high, caliber and everything like that. So he had a lot to prove. Therefore, it was kind of like the Raptors were doing him a favor, and then he did, as he did the Raptors a favor in a sense. You can't get someone who's like, who I'll take like AD for instance. Like if AD goes to Boston and he really doesn't care for being there, he knows regardless he has nothing to prove.
Right.
So there's a chance that if he does get hurt, he might just, not play the rest of the season.
And so I do think teams are going to trade more, even though the player doesn't want to go there, but I don't think they're going to retain these players because I think Kawhi comes back. Because we've never seen a guy win a title and leave the team, the star player. It's never been done before. You can go through every season, hasn't been done. Role player, second best player, but not the best player. But Finals MVP has never left the team.
But what if he goes to another team and he'll be the first and only player to win a championship?
That'd be cool. That would be cool too. I mean, I'm with that. I want to see that too, but I think he stays. It just hasn't happened. And what did Toronto need to do more? Do you know what I mean? Like, Kawhi came to this organization, didn't know what to expect. They did the load management thing. They did right by him.
Yeah.
They showed him that they were all in. They traded for Gasol. Hey, we're all in. We're trying to win a championship. We know what you're about. We know you want to win a championship. Look at us. We're serious about this. Player development, Siakam, Van Vliet, both. I think Siakam late draft pick, Van Vliet undrafted. They shown the ability to get guys that other people aren't looking at, develop them into key role players. I think Kawhi is coming back, and he's the only guy in the history of the league to win Finals MVP with cornrows. So shout out to cornrows. I think cornrows are coming back.
He's bringing them back.
He
got the default player hairdo.
So I'm talking about cornrows, not the little Drew Holiday. He had the two braids going like this, right? I don't think that counts as cornrows.
Ooh.
I think cornrows are coming back.
Had a torn ACL, bro.
Oh, you just saw that torn ACL on the screen for Klay? Yeah. Because you could walk with a torn ACL, but you can't cut. You can't really move. Jump. Yeah. But you could walk. And he was walking and he was running even.
He was trying, yeah. He wanted to, yeah.
And he really laid his body out there. Shout out to Klay. And I hope he gets better because, like I said, I don't think anyone hates Klay.
No, even people who don't like the Warriors, they love Klay.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, man. I still have a feeling Kawhi might leave.
You think so? Win the title?
He kind of has like a Forrest Gump type vibe, like, sorry, I ruined your Black Panther part. Like, I feel like since he won, like you even mentioned it too. Now that he won, it's kind of like he doesn't owe them anything.
Yeah.
But we did say now Toronto has to retire his jersey regardless now, right?
Oh yeah, they gotta.
So
definitely,
I think unless he really wants, like the super, he'll be able to get the Supermax with him, right? If he stays, unless he really wants that, then that's the motive for him to stay. But now I can see him fulfilling what he had to do. I can actually see him going to your Lakers with LeBron now.
How about this though? One thing that's getting overlooked was he was hurt. He was hurt, man. And at times it looked like he was playing on one leg. I mean, he was legit hurt. Don't you think with his injury history, he's going to want that Supermax and just max out because that's going to act as his insurance? He's not going to get the same money in LA or wherever he might go. But with Toronto, they could Supermax him and just pay him a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to look at that. Him and his team are going to look at that and say, you know what? He might honestly have 5 years left, and that's it. That's it with Kawhi because his injury history, I think he stays. Look, I think he stays because I'm going with the side of history here. It's just never been done. It's never been done. A guy hasn't won a Finals MVP and said, I'm out. They've always run it back. And if he does leave, it's not the Raptors' fault. It's just Kawhi wanted to do this. This is what he wants to do. But the Raptors, I think it cannot be stressed enough. They did everything perfect.
Yeah, they did everything right, bro. And even, too, if someone was to say, like, well, it may help him with his endorsements if he goes to LA. But think about it. You can have a city or you can have a country.
Now he's international, even though it's Canada. He did something that's never been done. I don't buy that for a second. Whatever, LA. Look, Toronto's a huge market. Toronto's a huge market, and it's the biggest market in Canada. So I think he stays. Do you want to bet something on this?
Nah, man, I'm kind of...
You're done with betting.
Nah,
I'm on a streak.
My losses is piling up like the
broke
Warriors'
you.
bodies.
Yeah, you're right.
It's been piling up.
I broke you.
We're trying to go to San Diego.
But incredible run by Kawhi, by the Raptors. And, you got to give them props for pulling it off. I don't think they've dethroned the dynasty because the Warriors still have stuff to look forward to,
Definitely.
They're still going to be a contender for at least 2-3 more seasons, a legit contender, probably even more. So I don't feel like this is a complete dethrone. I just think it's a little blip. The Warriors got to the finals. They lost. They'll be back probably.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
And I kind of just, it feels like to me, if this benefits us weirdly, as in like I can see like KD and Klay's like, let's run this back, man. Let's re-up. Let's get the squad back together and let's just do this thing all over again. Rather than us winning and then it's like, oh, I ain't got nothing else to prove.
So that was my next question. Warriors offseason, what does it look like? KD come back? Because I did a podcast, I did a live stream.
I saw
you were under the weather.
I wasn't sick because of that. I was dying.
I had to, man. The game was just too much, right? It was too much. So
I don't want to get you sick, fool.
The last episode I did, the solo one, the title was Why the Injury Would Make KD Leave. Now, I want to get your thoughts on it. What does KD do this offseason?
If I'm KD, you obviously opt in, sit at home, eat some cookies, and get paid $31 million for it.
Okay, so I think he opts in as well, but that doesn't mean he's back.
No, because he'll get paid $31 million, and then
he'll probably miss the whole year.
No, he's gonna miss the whole year.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but my question is, after that, what happens after that? Does KD stay with the Warriors, or did we see KD play his last game as a Warrior?
I think KD re-ups. I think he comes back.
He's coming back.
I think he comes back now. I think the injury and everything that happened, I think he comes back.
Interesting. This is kind of a blessing in disguise. And I feel bad even saying this because he got hurt. It's a horrific injury. He might not be the same. We don't know this, but he might not. There's potential, right? At least that he's not the same after this. Because the Achilles is a really major thing.
It is.
We've seen a lot of guys blow out their Achilles. Although I will say Kobe Bryant dropped 60 points after his Achilles injury. 60 points on 50 shots. Don't at me. KD opts in. He's at the Chase Center. He sees all of this San Francisco stuff. And he goes, man, why would I leave? And he comes back. He re-ups. I'm with you, man. You know me. I've been on the KD's coming back to the Warriors thing for a long time, right?
Yep.
So prophecy is true.
I will say, though, the one thing that scares me is I think if you listen to my last episode, I think he might have felt pressure to come back Game 5. I don't think the Warriors forced him or put unnecessary pressure on him, but I just think, because at the end of the day, it was up to KD to play or not, right?
Yep.
It's up to him. He could have said, yeah, I'm not playing, and he wouldn't have played. The Warriors can't force him to play. But I do think he felt some pressure. What the guys were saying in the media, what Kerr was saying in the media about guys playing through injuries like Looney and Iggy and Steph. What the media was saying, should KD come back? Where's KD? They need KD, all of this stuff. I think KD felt a little pressure to come back, and that factored into his decision to play Game 5. It wasn't based solely on, hey, the leg feels good and I want to come back. Those two were factors as well, but I also think the third factor was the external pressure, and he came back. And I think his love of the game was probably the biggest factor. He wanted to come back. He wanted to win the title. He wanted to play with his brothers, like he says. Yeah. But I do think you cannot tell me that the external pressure didn't factor into it, because I think it did. And that tells me that he wasn't 100% in control of his own destiny. And I talked about it on the last episode that OKC messed up his foot a couple times. They messed his whole injury situation up. They rushed him back. It didn't work out. And I thought that was a big reason why he left OKC, because he didn't feel like he was in control of his own destiny. So that might factor into his offseason decision, where he wants to go to a team that says, no one's above me. It's up to me. I play when I want. But at the end of the day, I'm sticking to my guns, man. KD's coming back because I want to be right. It's simple. I just want to be right.
And also, too, I think, like I said, the whole getting injured and the blessing in disguise thing, I think he probably will finally feel like it, to him, maybe it's okay if I run with the Warriors now.
Yeah, oddly enough, it's
like
funny
now
how
it's like
life works.
Because the Warriors obviously didn't win a championship without him. So now I kind of feel like, to him, I mean, and then also like the Warriors, everyone was saying the right thing. Like, we need him. We're not better without him. We're a good team. We're a way better team with them. I feel like everything that transpired worked in KD's favor.
So can the Warriors bring back KD and Klay?
I think so.
I think they can, but they'd have to give Klay low. And whether Klay is willing to do that or not, obviously he probably is, but that doesn't mean he's not going to. I think there was a report where he will entertain other options, not leave, just entertain other options.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the full max. They can't max both guys out, right? But maybe, I don't know.
You can max 3. You can have we want to be able to retain.
Isn't Draymond maxed?
Draymond's not maxed.
Under the old rules, he's maxed.
I don't think he's maxed. He got a extension and a raise, but he's definitely not maxed. But you can have 3.
Cap.
You can have 3 as long as the owner is willing to pay the luxury tax.
Right. He is.
Yeah, because you bought a team for $400 million and now you're worth $9 billion. It's like, oh, luxury tax.
What if KD just extends? Just like, let's get this over with. I'm extending. Boom. I don't think it'll happen, but that would be fun.
Happen. I think because he probably will want to see where the Warriors are a year after as well.
Yeah.
So the smart thing is obviously take the player option, get the year right, and then from there to see what happens. I honestly think, just like when we lost to Cleveland, I said this might be a blessing in disguise. We may get KD. I didn't think we was going to get KD, but the opportunity was there because of the downfall of what happened. So now everything that was leading up to what possibly would have happened with KD this offseason is on hold for a whole year. Blessing in disguise.
It's going to be interesting. This offseason, we thought we knew what was going to happen. We thought we had a good idea, a good picture as to what this offseason was going to look like. But these injuries just threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, and it might just be totally different. And it will be interesting if KD opts in. Is he going to go to the games? Will he be sidelined? Will he be courtside? Is he still going to be involved with the Warriors? Because I think it's just as much of a possibility that he opts in and he's just now with the team. And he's still acting like a free agent, right? While technically being a Warrior. Yeah, that's fine. He could do that. But I do think if you're a Warrior fan, you're like, where's KD? Why isn't he with the team? And it might be an awkward situation, but he could do it. Depends
on what kind of Warrior fan you're talking about. Because to me, I think the year off will do him some good.
Yeah.
I think obviously he's probably playing basketball his whole life. Having a year off of not really worrying about basketball, I think it's going to do him some good. And if he decides to leave, he did what I felt like, all he had to do was win 1 championship, but he brought us 2.
Yeah, and this obviously is going to be very, very entertaining, and I want to save some of it. I want to save the Kyrie and the Kembas and all of this stuff. I want to save this for future episodes as we get closer to that July 1st when free agency officially kicks off.
June 30th, actually, now.
Yep, June 30th. You're right. So I want to shelve that. But I feel like since it's the end of NBA Finals, we have to end on a prophecy, boys. What do you want? Let's do prophecy, boys, for these two teams in specific. Raptors, Warriors. I want one prophecy, boys, that pertains to those two teams. Go ahead. What do you think? I think Kawhi's coming back. Prophecy, boys.
Prophecy is true.
Kawhi's coming back with the Raptors. That's my prophecy, boys, prediction. Like I said, it hasn't been done before. No guys left like that. And I think they did everything right by him, and he's going to look at that and you go, you know what? I own this city. And he's coming back. Country. You're right. Even better. I own this country. I'm coming back.
I think for Toronto, Kawhi is not coming back because he fulfilled what he was supposed to do, and Kawhi is not like most people. He's a robot, so he's probably gonna do what you probably don't think he should do or no one has ever done. Because, like he always mentioned, there's a difference between life and basketball to him. Yeah, and the basketball move obviously to stay with Toronto, but the life move may be to get to where he wanted to get to, and which is out in LA.
Maybe. Look, I'll be stoked if he comes to the Lakers. I'll tell you that.
I think I actually thought he was going to go to the Clippers, but I think since he won a championship, he might have a better chance of winning one with LeBron.
How about this,
and
though?
why not do it with LeBron since he's out there?
Klay Thompson reportedly officially locked in to Space Jam 2.
Yeah, that's going to be dope.
Whoa.
That's going to be perfect for him.
The Clakers?
I guess, man, I'm telling you, with everything that transpired, I wouldn't be surprised if Klay goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, let's shelve the Laker talk because this is about the Warriors and the Raptors, and I personally want to thank both teams, both organizations, for what I think was one of the most emotional roller coasters of a ride that I've ever had in the finals where the Lakers weren't playing. I mean, this had so many storylines, so many moments that didn't just affect the series, but the NBA, right? KD injury affected the NBA. Toronto winning affected the NBA. It was the first time Canada's ever won a major sports title since 93, I believe. First basketball one. It's just unique because the Raptors for so long have been they've been a laughingstock almost. So I want to personally thank both teams for just giving me what I think was a very, very entertaining finals. The basketball play could have been better, little cleaned up, but from an entertainment point of view, I was fully satisfied.
It was definitely a pretty good finals to witness, and I think I don't know, like Brian said, or yeah, I think my cousin even said it too. Just it doesn't feel as bad as it did when we lost, 2016.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like, oh, we lost, but it's not as bad as losing to the Cavs. Probably because we were like the 3-1 up and stuff like that. But
they also were kind of giving it to you guys, kind of trash talking you.
Who?
LeBron, Kyrie. They were kind of dogging you guys. The block in Game 6. And LeBron was like turning around, saying some things I definitely can't say.
What you're supposed? I mean, supposed to.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the Warriors or the Raptors had none of that. They were just like, and they were arguably the better team in this series, right? Because the Warriors weren't healthy. Whereas that 73-9 team, it was like we thought the Warriors were better, and the
Warriors weren't healthy neither. That series.
You're right. Towards the end of the series, but the Raptors started this series more healthy than the Warriors.
Oh, they're full squad.
Whereas that other, the Cleveland series, I feel like was a little closer health-wise. But, hey, man, that was a great
series.
Great series.
Yeah, just a
great finals. Playoffs.
Proud of my team.
Great playoffs. Crazy playoffs. Buzzer beaters. Crazy buzzer beaters. 2 iconic buzzer beaters, right? The Dame and the Kawhi.
Yeah.
We had that quadruple overtime game, which was just insanity. We had the Warriors winning a ton of games without KD.
Yeah.
Insane. And we had Giannis was incredible. And him losing might be worse for the NBA because he's going to be on a tear next season. So I'm already pumped for next season, but hopefully you guys are pumped as well. And for everyone who's listening to this episode and who has been listening to the podcast throughout the playoffs, throughout the season, thank you so much. But our coverage is not going to stop here. We will be doing draft, offseason. There's going to be a ton. Basketball has become a 12-month sport now.
Oh, man, no off-season?
No offseason, baby.
There ain't any PTO left?
No, man, we're playing the full 48 or 12, which is you can put 12 into 48. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course you can.
What's that word I'm looking for?
Indivisible.
A factor.
Divisible.
Yeah,
Divisible, dividable, dividable.
Whatever
Whatever those things.
Prophecy
I like
boys, Kawhi's coming back. You say he's not.
He is not coming back.
We will find out. We're not betting because Ray's on a losing streak. I'll let you.
What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet?
I don't know. I'll think about it, and we'll make a bet on the next episode.
When are we gonna get Buds in your Roadhouse? I want to get it over with.
We'll talk about that right now. But thank you guys for listening to the episode and the podcast. We'll catch you guys in the next one, and I promise there will be a next one. Peace.